The first significant snow of the season is upon us. How much will we get?
Our report from the Mideast, where Marines from our area are protecting the most valuable targets for insurgents.
And the incredible video of a skydiver plunging to earth. And he survived.
If they don't give me the respect that I deserve, I have to move on.
And is it closing time for Mariano Rivera as a Yankee?
You're watching NBC4 HD. And now, Chuck Scarborough, Sue Simmons, Janice Huff, and Len Berman. This is News Channel 4 at 11.
Good evening. We made it this far into winter with no real snow to speak of, but that is about to change.
A system that will bring us snow is making its way through the Midwest right now. It's already dropped several inches in the Plain States. The system will arrive in our area late tomorrow afternoon. John Marshall's here with what we can expect.
Sue, and right now that storm is just developing and has a large area of rain and the northern fringes, some snow beginning to break out over the Midwest back through the Ohio Valley. This storm means business. It is now located, over Oklahoma, will redevelop off the coastline, and the latest computer guidance suggests this may become a nor'easter for Wednesday. All right, let's go to the maps right now. Winter storm watch is in effect for Tuesday night into Wednesday for the area shaded in purple for the possibility of heavy snow and ice. Winter storm warning for Sullivan County. Here's what we can expect. The snow develops about 7 o'clock in the evening tomorrow from the city on westward. But what's going to happen is once that storm gets cranking offshore, it's going to bring a lot of warmth in from the Atlantic. The snow will go over to rain in the city, some sleet, snow continuing Wednesday morning's commute north and west of New York City. But once that storm east of Long Island brings down cold air, we're thinking right now that most areas will go over to all snow. And we've added a snow band to the map. Revised forecast in the city by Wednesday night, 1 to 3 inches, just to the north and west, 2 to 4, to the north and west of that in purple, 4 to 8, and 8 to 12 inches for extreme northwestern New Jersey up the Mid-Hudson Valley. A changing situation. More on the forecast. Chuck, coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, John. Well, the snow we're expecting here won't be anything like what the folks upstate in New York are experiencing. The National Weather Service says the 11 feet 9 inches of snow that fell in Redfield was a new top single event snowfall for the state. Business owners in Oswego County, though, are happy about it. The town's economy depends upon snowmobilers and cross-country skiers.
A pair of robbers made off with almost $200,000 from a Newark bank today. Amy Nuzzo is at the TD Bank North with more on the daring heist. Amy?
Sue, as far as bank robberies go, the one staged by 2 masked gunmen at this Newark bank tonight was incredibly lucrative. Sources telling us the robbers made off with an incredible bundle of cash, more than $190,000. Newark police say the masked duo came into the TD Bank North at Springfield Avenue and Bergen Street around closing time, 5 o'clock tonight, and held up the bank at gunpoint. Now, the FBI, which is investigating, isn't going into details about how the pair executed the heist. We should mention, though, that the tellers worked behind bulletproof glass. It seems that somehow, based on how much money was taken, the robbers were able to gain access to the bank safe. Police say the 2 men left the bank on foot, but may have had a car waiting nearby, and they're hoping that some witnesses will come forward to help them solve the case. We're live in Newark tonight. Amy Nuzzo, News Channel 4.
Amy, thank you. A vigil to keep an East Harlem church open got heated tonight.
What is your problem? This is our church!
Passionate parishioners hoping to keep Our Lady Queen of Angels open got into a screaming match with security guards, reportedly sent to get them out of the church. They did not leave, and they vow to keep their vigil until the Archdiocese reverses last month's decision to close the church. A spokesperson for the Archdiocese said he was not aware of an incident at the church.
In Yonkers tonight, police say a driver was seriously injured when his car rear-ended a Beeline bus. It happened on Warburton Avenue near Museum High School, middle school correction. Police say the car was underneath the bus when they arrived. We're told there were injuries on the bus as well, but all of them minor. Police haven't yet told us whether any charges are going to be filed. So far, no names have been released.
A city councilman says he has an inexpensive but high-tech way to help police catch criminals, putting digital cameras in every police car. Queens Councilman Eric Joya is proposing the city spend $500,000 to supply the cameras. In a pilot program, several police precincts received digital cameras instead of the old Polaroids. And law enforcement sources say there was a 20% jump in successfully prosecuted domestic violence cases.
In many cases, it comes down to one person's testimony against another's. And that's why it's so important that we have good evidence. And the digital pictures are irrefutable.
The New York Civil Liberties Union says it's concerned about privacy violations if every patrol car receives a digital camera.
This weekend it was Hillary Clinton. Tonight it was Barack Obama making his first campaign swing through the first primary state. Political reporter Jada Dapper reports from New Hampshire.
It's hard not to seem like a rock star in a place like this. The cavernous field house at the University of New Hampshire tonight, where Barack Obama held his first official presidential campaign rally in New Hampshire before an electric crowd of at least 2,500 people.
What I hope this campaign becomes is a vehicle for your hopes and dreams.
Obama starts the race here in the first primary state behind Hillary Clinton in the polls. She spent the weekend here drawing similarly large crowds. But where most voters already have a strong opinion of her, Barack is a blank slate.
He's in an excellent position to take on the Kennedy-esque or the Reagan-esque mantle in this campaign of the guy who's got vision, who's looking forward, wants to bring a new style of politics.
His fans agree.
I think he's young and he's vibrant. He's new blood. He's not the old politics. He's new blood, and that's what this country needs.
3 years ago, another hot new political star drew a similarly delirious reaction, but couldn't parlay it into votes on Election Day. If Barack Obama is to avoid that fate, he's going to have to figure out what Howard Dean could not. The good news for Obama, he's got 11 months to work it out. On the campaign trail in Durham, New Hampshire, J.D. Dapper, News Channel 4.
Tonight in Hillsborough, there was a town meeting to discuss the removal of more than 2,600 metric tons of mercury. Right now, the mercury is being stored in Hillsborough at the Somerville National Defense Stockpile Depot. For years, residents of Hillsborough have wanted the mercury removed because they were worried about the environmental hazards and terrorism. The plan: the federal government will begin trucking out the mercury to an Army depot in Nevada this summer.
They're extremely happy about that, again, for many different reasons, not just because mercury is extremely toxic, but just for the security reasons as well. Even though the DLA said this, it's really not a security issue, in the minds of the people of Hillsborough, it is a security issue. So if we can minimize that, that's perfect here for the residents.
The mercury has been stored at the Hillsborough Depot since the 1940s, but local officials only found out about it in 2000.
Only on 4 inside a military operation involving local Marines near the tense Iraq-Iran border. And a parachute failure triggers a plunge thousands of feet to Earth. We're back in 60 seconds. It's a pretty low angle, Chuck.
This just in: a massive tire fire in New Jersey is burning tonight. A live look from above the multiple alarm fire now. It broke out at Del Val Tire Shop in Pennsville. Several fire companies are at the scene, and so far there are no reports of injuries or evacuations.
Michael Gargiulo recently traveled to the Middle East for a rare look at what life at war is like for servicemen and women from our area. And he joins us now with the first in his series of reports, Your Troops, Our Troops, Your Neighborhood. Michael.
So Chuck and Sue, we're going to begin tonight in a place that's actually been fought over a lot, but it's really rarely visited by outsiders. It's Iraq's offshore oil terminals, which are just a few miles actually from Iran. There we met up with some Marines and sailors from our area who are guarding what could be Iraq's most prized asset.
From the air, the Al Basra oil terminal may look like a pier that leads nowhere, but the U.S. military considers this facility, known as ABOT, along with the Kar Alamaya terminal, or Kayat, 5 miles away, to be perhaps the most valuable targets for insurgents in Iraq. It's through these two terminals that at least 80% of the country's oil is pumped into tankers docked here, as much as 1.5 million barrels a day, generating $75 million or more a day. U.S. and coalition warships circle the terminals constantly to try and keep away potential intruders. On the platforms themselves, U.S. sailors and Marines, along with Iraqi Marines, man machine gun positions. Among the Americans whose job it is to protect these terminals and to train Iraqi forces to take over the job themselves is Marine Lieutenant Colonel Dave DiEugenio of Toms River.
We've got the lifeblood of the Iraqi economy that we're protecting here. And the only way we can hope to be able to put ourselves in a position where we can transition ultimately is to be able to keep the revenue moving into the Iraqi economy.
The terminals were built here because the water is deep enough to accommodate the largest oil tankers. It's sovereign Iraqi territory because ABOT and are connected to Iraq's main seaport Basra by a 60-mile underground pipeline. But they're actually much closer to Iran, just 11 miles away. The military even believes the Iranians have placed monitoring devices on this sunken construction crane to watch what goes on here. That crane just a few miles away from the Kayot platform, which carries the scars of past conflicts.
You can still see bullet holes on this vent over there. This oil platform has been through 4 wars and it has the damage to prove it. During the Iran-Iraq war, it changed hands, in fact, 5 times. Then to top it all off, last year there was an explosion here, created all this wreckage.
It's gone back and forth. Iranians took it from Iraqis, Iraqis took it back from Iranians. We took some shots at it during Desert Shield, Desert Storm. You can walk through that platform, you can see bomb damage, you can see bullet holes. You almost like counting rings on a tree and trace it back through the different engagements over time.
As a result, life on Kayot means negotiating rickety walkways, avoiding rusted out, crumbling platforms, and sleeping in a 3-story barge attached to the terminal. Quite a change from sailor Victor Marte's home in Highland Park.
You can never imagine it unless you're out here. I'm telling you, it's rough.
But maybe even rougher over on ABOT.
These are actual shipping containers that were brought out to the platform a couple years ago.
Here, Marines and sailors sleep 3 to a room in converted shipping containers stacked on top of each other. Iraqi Marines are brought out here for several weeks of training at a time. They do man some of the gun positions, but there are always Americans nearby. These weapons are the last line of defense, only to be used if intruders manage to get by the ring of warships. That's exactly what happened in 2004, when 3 Americans were killed in an attack on the platforms. The U.S. officers training the Iraqis say they're eager in making progress. But on this day, it's clear not all are ready just yet.
Fire. Fire. Pull hard. The biggest challenge, one, for us is a language barrier. I mean, that seems to be a huge across the board. Interpreters are hard to find sometimes, and for us, that's a challenge.
There's no firm date right now for the U.S. to hand over responsibility for protecting the oil terminals over to the Iraqis, which means more months of duty out here for Petty Officer Eric Melendez of Brownsville.
I know it's hard. My family understands it. I understand it. And just like I say, we're doing it for the freedom of the Iraqi people and us back home.
So the mission continues in this most unusual place. And unlike other parts of Iraq, the best thing that can happen here is nothing.
The military does make a special effort to provide some perks like fresh food for the Marines and sailors who are on those terminals for a long time. Now, coming up tomorrow, we're going to introduce you to sailors from the New York area who are serving aboard the USS Dubuque, and we're going to show you what they have to do to keep their own ship safe in these waters. These waters are incredibly crowded with other ships and, of course, the Iranians as well.
All right, Michael, thank you. Michael Gargiulo and photographer Neil Astro are sharing the video that didn't make it into their story online. So look for it on WNBC.com. Just click on the link that says Our Troops, Your Neighbors under the top story section of the homepage. That takes you to a video tour plus more.
And still ahead as we continue for you, a mid-air disaster with an incredible ending.
Hear from the skydiver whose parachute malfunction triggered a violent fall thousands of feet to Earth. Next. It is fair to say the man we're about to introduce you to should not be alive.
He fell 2 miles to Earth with a failed parachute. Linda Baccaro has his incredible story.
And when you see this video, you will wonder how anyone could survive that free fall. It was the skydiver's worst nightmare come true.
2 months ago, experienced skydiver Michael Holmes was free-falling over New Zealand's Lake Taupo, 5,000 feet in the air, when suddenly his main parachute failed to fully open. It spun him around violently, caught on tape by his helmet camera and that of fellow skydiver Jonathan King. Both men appeared on Today this morning.
There were times when it was just all the blood's going to my arms and my head, and I'm just almost passing out, giving up.
Michael faced a dire choice: release his reserve parachute or hope that the main chute might fully inflate before he hits ground. Michael checked his altimeter: 1,100 feet, 800 feet, 650 feet. He decided to release his reserve chute, but as he feared, it snagged the main chute and failed to open. He waved goodbye.
Never thought I'd be able to actually be watching it again. I thought those moments then were the last, that's why I waved goodbye.
Michael crashed into blackberry bushes.
Can you talk to me, bro? Talk to me, man. How was it? You okay? No.
Michael had a collapsed lung and fractured ankle.
Well, the first initial feeling was it's not good.
You know, you get that kind of sinking feeling in your stomach when you're seeing something bad.
I sort of forgot to have the elation of, yay, I'm alive. I was just thinking about the problem. I thought, well, I'd done everything I could possibly do.
Holmes says he'll skydive again.
Yeah, I'll more than certainly jump again. It's like, it's what I do. It's what I do every day. It's what I love it.
Well, he says his day-to-day life is pretty much the same as it was before. The only difference now is he appreciates his friends and family even more. Sue and Chuck, back to you.
Wow.
Incredible. Coming up, John Marshall has the latest on the storm heading our way.
And coming up in sports, Mariano Rivera says this might just be his closing year as a Yankee. Here's John now with more about our first real winter storm. John.
That's right, Chuck. And right now, it looks like it's going to be a big storm. It's going to hug the coast. But then once it moves just offshore on Wednesday, looks like we're going to get some pretty heavy snow. Outside right now, we're dealing with conditions that are basically tranquil, and the current reading in Central Park at this hour beginning to fall. As the Arctic front is working through the region, the current reading is 34 degrees, overcast conditions, as we said. Winds have switched around to the north at 10 miles an hour, bringing down that cold air. The humidity is 47%, and the barometer is beginning to rise, 30.27 inches of mercury. High temperature today, 40 degrees, right where we should be this time of the year. Overnight low 28, no precipitation for the date. And around the region right now, temperatures flirting with freezing in and around the urban areas, below freezing in the upper 20s. North of town, 37 degrees in Atlantic City. But that chunk of Arctic air is located right now over Watertown, New York. It's -5. So that is the first ingredient, the cold air coming down. And we have a lot of moisture working in from the Midwest. A lot of heavy snow is working through portions of Oklahoma, Illinois, northern Missouri right now. This storm has a lot of moisture to work with. The Gulf of Mexico, the Atlantic Ocean is opened up for business with the moisture. And for tonight, we're going to see skies that are going to be mostly clear to partly cloudy. Temperature about 21 degrees in the city, about 13 north and west. Winds will be out of the north at 5 to 10 miles an hour. The morning commute, no weather worries. Dry roadways, but that area of snow will be working in from west to east. Oh, let's say during the evening commute, it's going to be very light. And by 7 o'clock, from the city on west, some light snow will be developing. And as that storm gets offshore, just south and east of New Jersey, enough warm air works in off the ocean. For the Wednesday morning commute, a mix to rain. But the problem is we're thinking cold air is going to be at the surface, so there may be some freezing rain possibilities for the commute Wednesday morning. And then this baby really gets cranking offshore of Montauk, and we're looking for a possibility of a period of heavy snow, even here in the city, Wednesday afternoon through Wednesday evening. And the winds will be an issue as temperatures plummet through the 20s. By Wednesday night, we've adjusted these for the 11 o'clock hour, 1 to 3, 2 to 4 inches of snow in and around New York City. And then you can see the amounts go up very dramatically as you go north and west, up to a foot of snow over Sussex County, New Jersey, and portions of the Mid-Hudson Valley. And it all starts tomorrow evening. It will be light, 28 degrees for the high tomorrow. And for Wednesday, a wintry mess to snow, 36 degrees. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're in the deep freeze, Sue, with temperatures in the mid-20s to around 30. Chris Cimino will have the update on Today in New York beginning at 5 a.m.
All right, John, thank you. Forget the old saying, you snooze, you lose.
Yeah, there's a new proof that a power nap may be just what the boss is looking for, Len.
And coming up in sports, Mariano Rivera wants some respect.
If they want me back, they want me back. Otherwise, I'm going to sit in my house crying.
As Yankee pitchers and catchers gather in Florida, as this is last year as a Yankee. Plus, the Giants cut 3 big names. All next in sports on News Channel 4 at 11.
Len Berman here. Mariano sounding a little edgy today.
Exactly my words. Mariano Rivera arriving today is last year under contract, and his comments were pretty edgy. He wants respect or else. Bruce Beck reports from Tampa.
It was a busy day at the Yankees minor league complex in Tampa. The captain playing catch with Jorge Posada through the raindrops. The prodigy, Philip Hughes, firing strikes from a mound. The newly signed pitcher, Kei Igawa, meeting with the Japanese press. There was even a Carl Pavano sighting. But the big news surrounded the arrival of Mariano Rivera, the future Hall of Famer, who's in the final year of a contract with the Bronx Bombers. Does not having a contract past this year weigh on your mind in any way, shape, or form?
No, at all. No, at all. I have a contract for this year. That's what matters, and all I have to do is focus on this season.
But is Rivera looking for more respect from a franchise he has helped define over the past 12 seasons?
Yeah, definitely I wanted to finish my career here, but, if they don't give me the respect that I deserve, I have to move on. When the time comes, if they want me back, they want me back. Otherwise, I'm going to sit in my house crying. I have to move on.
The Yankees know they can't afford an unhappy Rivera, and they can't let him walk, expecting to sign him to a new contract during spring training, much like they did in March of 2004. In Tampa, I'm Bruce Beck, News Channel 4.
Interesting quotes from Rivera. And Daisuke has landed. There were crowds of reporters and cameramen at the Tampa airport when the $100 million Red Sox pitcher arrived. Matsuzaka held an impromptu news conference in baggage claim. He told Japanese reporters his goals for spring training, not to get injured, and to meet everybody's expectations by playing well. And former Met Chris Benson of the Orioles has a torn rotator cuff, likely out for the year. So Baltimore signed another former Met, Steve Traxel. New Giants general manager Jerry Reese wasted no time flexing his muscles. He cut 3 starters today. Former All-Pro linebacker LeVar Arrington is out. He had signed a huge contract last year, but he played in only 6 games, injuring his Achilles in October. Also gone, fellow linebacker Carlos Emmons. He played in 36 games over 3 seasons, but he missed some games with a pectoral injury. And also cut offensive tackle Luke Pettigrew. He started 106 games over 8 years, but he broke his leg in November against the Bears, and that was it for him. And Tiki Barber will join us on Live at 5 tomorrow. He's joining NBC. And in the stunner, San Diego has fired coach Marty Schottenheimer. Well, the Knicks play the Lakers tomorrow in L.A. Apparently, the owner told the players Isaiah Thomas is safe as coach for now.
Anytime you see the owner, it's either a good thing or a bad thing. Though, you know, 'cause if we won the same path as last year and he came in, I would have to imagine that this probably be the last couple of games we saw Isaiah.
You don't feel like a ton of pressure.
Well, hold on now.
He says the pressure is not off him. The Nets hosting the Spurs tomorrow. And at the NBA All-Star Game Sunday in Vegas, Kidd and Carter will not be the only Net representation. The Nets drumline team selected to provide entertainment over the All-Star weekend. The Brooklyn group performs at halftime throughout the season. So this is a well-deserved reward for a hard-working troupe.
Usually, kids from Brooklyn don't get an opportunity like this. We just want to show that it's not impossible. If it wasn't for this, we'd be in the streets. And that's what we don't want. And, you know, it keeps our mind on track. Without good grades, can't do it. You know, anything that we put our mind to, and it's discipline, basically.
It's just a dream. It's like a dream come true for everybody, for any little kid from Brooklyn.
How about that? Very cool. Drumline team.
I love that.
Sports.
Portland, thank you.
We'll be right back. A little siesta may do your heart some good. Researchers say they tracked nearly 24,000 healthy Greek adults for about 6 years on average and found that people who napped for at least 30 minutes in midday at least 3 times a week were less likely to die of heart attacks or other cardiac problems. How about that?
Or they won't have a job either. Good night.
Good night. Thanks for joining us.
Tomorrow morning, watch Today in New York. And for radio, traffic, news, and weather, tune to 1010 Wins.